Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to just bring it back to the basics and talk about how you can get started with your fitness journey. I know that some of you guys watching this have been working out for a while and some of you guys might just be getting into it in your first couple months or even years of fitness and struggling to figure it all out. So I thought I would give you guys my best tips for how to get started, how to be successful, and how to make this whole thing just a little bit simpler. I guess I should start by saying that it's called a journey for a reason because it's not a straight road, right? It's gonna have some weird winds and hills and whatever, and my journey is no exception to that. I started off, of course, in athletics, but when my real fitness journey started, if you guys watched my other video, was like running and cardio. That's how I started. That was what felt available to me. It was the least intimidating, but I spent many years spinning my wheels and being stuck in this like cardio diet mentality. And that's kind of what my journey, how it started. If I had someone telling me not to do that at the time, I would probably have reached my goals faster, but no one on YouTube or really online was advocating strength training yet. It just like wasn't cool. It wasn't a thing that women were doing that much. So I say this all to say it's really, really hard, and I want you to take the pressure off of yourself and just know that it's called a journey because it's hard and it's not a straight road and it's pretty individual as well. So let's just take the pressure off before we even jump into this, and just know that the fact that you're watching this means that you are trying, you're excited, you're getting started, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so my first tip if you're getting started is to meet yourself where you're at. So a lot of times we jump into a fitness journey or any really new project and we're like, oh, I'm gonna start at this point because this other person is starting here, or I see this person doing this and I wanna do that. But what you're not taking into account is how many years have they been doing that? For example, like we're not gonna just look like Whitney Simmons overnight, and the goal isn't to look like someone else either. Realize that like a lot of your role models have been working at their lifestyle, their habits, their nutrition, their fitness for upwards of 5 years. So then where do you start? Start with where you're at. Like what feels doable to you? Ask yourself this question, like coach yourself if you can. Ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, do I feel like I could go and lift some weights at the gym? It has to be an 8, 9, or 10 for you to decide to do that. Anything less, it won't happen. You'll keep putting it off, and then you'll blame yourself and you'll fall into this cycle of, not seeing results, feeling frustrated, and it doesn't end up going down a good path, right? I've been down that path many times in my past, creating too steep of a goal or too harsh of a diet and not seeing results. And then when I couldn't stick to it, blaming myself and saying, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm never gonna reach my goals because I'm lazy. That's when that really horrible negative self-talk starts to creep in. And that's not a real narrative that's true. It's a real narrative to us who are experiencing it, but there's no truth in that narrative because you set goals that you weren't meeting yourself where you were at. Your first step is to just ask yourself some questions, like have an interview with yourself and be like, what do I feel like I could do? If the gym is like a 6 because you're intimidated or you don't know what you're gonna do once you get in the gym, then let's bring it back a level. Try doing workouts at home with a pair of dumbbells and ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, tomorrow, not like next week, like tomorrow or right now on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being yes, do I feel like I could commit to this and do this? And am I excited about it? Again, it needs to be an 8, 9, or a 10 for you to write it down and make it a plan. So in my fitness journey, weights were like so far out of my league. And I was a internationally ranked athlete and I just had very minimal experience lifting weights. So I also had lots of mindsets that it would make me bulky, and I just didn't understand that it was the route that I needed to go. And that's okay. I mean, it's like I said, it's called a journey because you're gonna fail a lot of times. You're gonna have a lot of what I call false starts, which are good things, where you start, you stop, you start, you stop, and along the way you learn, oh, that didn't work, oh, that was too steep a goal. It helps you build these layers to your lifestyle over time, and it's really happening for you, not to you when you fail. What felt, doable for me was going outside and running. I knew how to run. No one would laugh at me. No one could watch me work out because I'd be running by them. It was just easy. It's what was easy. So that's where I started. And listen, if that's where you're at, that's okay. Do I want you to do cardio like that? No, I'm not gonna lie, I don't. But if that's all you can do, then get outside and do it. Like, that will get you started at least on a track that could eventually lead to weights. Wherever you're at, you gotta start somewhere, and it's okay, and it's important to acknowledge and have the awareness, like what feels like doable for me, not for Whitney Simmons. I don't know why I'm bringing her up so many times in this video. Not for April Whitney, not for my girlfriend, just like me, like where am I at? And focus on you and your lane. That's gonna be so helpful for you achieving your goal. Another thing I did when I first started was at-home workouts are the bomb. They are so easy to do because you can do them in your PJs in the privacy of your bedroom. You don't have to worry about what you look like or if you smell or if the movements you're doing are with the wrong form. You can literally just do them in your bedroom. This was me in college, by the way. There was this basement gym in my best friend's apartment building. And instead of going to a regular gym where I could potentially run into like boys or like boys, I basically went over to her house and I went in this gym. It had no mirrors, no windows. It was like a disgusting little gray box with had a treadmill, and then it just had a space. And I rolled out a yoga mat and I took out my laptop and I went on YouTube and I just put in like HIIT and weights workouts at home. And then I just smashed it out. I would do like 30 minutes. And that was the very beginning of my strength training. I did that for many years and did not see results because I never had the self-awareness or education to understand that you have to do more than body weight exercises and cardio if you really want to boost your metabolism and burn fat and get to that next level. But like I said, journey. And if it's available to you, ask for help. Ask for, if you know anyone in the fitness or health space, you can DM me anytime, reach out and just say, hey, I don't even know like what I'm doing. Can you help me? Can you give me a tour of the gym? Ask a trainer. A lot of times gyms have free training sessions available upon just signing up. So that's something you can do. So once you have figured out, met yourself where you're at, the next step is to create a plan. When I first started, I kept all of my fitness planning in a sticky note on my computer. That included, each day of the week, on Sunday, I'd look at my calendar and I'd say, okay, when am I free? When can I squeeze in a workout? If I'm not free, what can I rearrange to prioritize this? Because you gotta like make it happen, And I would put it in my calendar. So I'd put workout and I'd say exactly what I was doing. Was I doing Smalletics, day one of my free workout plan? Not back then because it hadn't been created, but you could do that if you want. You could literally download my free guide. It has video tutorials of me doing the exercises. It tells you exactly what to do. You can do it at home with a pair of dumbbells. So I would type that in. Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday I do this. Then I would stick to it, and I created a little system. Like I'd put like a check mark after, something to like just reward yourself and make you feel accomplished. And it became a habit through that tracking system. And I do believe that you're not gonna be able to change your current lifestyle without bringing some new level of awareness to your lifestyle. Now, this can bring anxiety to some individuals. And if you find that it stresses you out to look at your schedule and your habits and your nutrition, start smaller. You don't have to overhaul it. You don't have to change the way you eat, everything, and the times you wake up and everything about your life. Just really start as small as possible. So if that's working out once per week, going for a jog, then do it, girl. Like, I don't want you to jog, but I would rather have you jog than, not do anything and never get started on your health journey. The second tip is nutrition. So if I could go back in time, I would tell myself that virtually 90% of my results would actually come from nutrition and not really from the fitness. Of course, it's not going to come from cardio. Strength training is really important for the petite metabolism, as you guys know from all my other videos, but nutrition is really important. What does it even mean? Like, nutrition is so complicated, right? There's so many different people telling you what's healthy, what's not healthy. It's hard to know who to listen to. It's hard to know what to eat. So simplify it. You cannot go wrong eating foods that don't have a lot of ingredients in them, like fruits and vegetables. Now, I'm not telling you to go home and make this really strict plan that's like, all I'm eating this week are unprocessed foods, because that's like not gonna happen. Even I don't do that. I mean, I still have sugar in my diet. I still eat treats. I still eat things that are, I guess, like fun foods. But 80% of the rest of the diet is unprocessed. So what you should do instead of revamping your whole nutrition is just aim to just cook 1 meal a week. If you're a college student and you have a kitchen, try to cook something simple, even if it's literally just, pan frying some chicken breasts and, baking it in a tomato sauce with some spinach. Like, keep it really, really simple. Breakfast might be a little easier. Even if you can just cook yourself some eggs, have some sprouted bread. Doing this is like an act of self-love for me. That's what it became. I felt like I was taking care of myself when I started cooking more, and it helped me learn about the foods, because you're not going to learn about the food that you're eating without starting to cook with it. And you don't have to cook 100% of your meals, but make a goal of just having more awareness of your nutrition by just cooking 1 meal a week and see how that feels for you. Don't set a goal to go to the grocery store and only buy healthy foods and do this huge meal prepping thing. It's gonna just suck a lot of energy out, and it'll feel like too much to do. Part of getting you onto this new journey is gonna be your motivation levels and your inspiration. So choose workouts that inspire you, choose foods that you're excited about, and start there. Start where you can. That's the most important part. Lastly, my biggest tip if you're just getting started is do not restrict too much. Number one most common thing I see happen is we go into these new journeys, these fitness journeys, deciding to just restrict everything, not eat any sugar. It's it's one of those extremes, all or nothing, no sugar, I'm not gonna eat dessert, I'm gonna skip breakfast. It gets crazy, right? It goes from 0 to 100 real quick when you announce to your friends that you're on a new diet. And I did all the diets. I did juice cleanses, I did the diet fads, I did intermittent fasting. You guys, there's just no shortcut to this. It's not going to help to restrict your calories a ton. It's gonna slow your metabolism down if you do that, especially if you do it abruptly and a huge cut in calories. So focus on the quality of your nutrition, not the quantity. You can also just bring some awareness to your eating habits in terms of your rituals. So when you sit down to eat a meal, try to make it a good time. Don't eat it running out the door while you're not present. Don't do it eating TV. Try to bring a new level of presence to your meals so that you can get more in tune with your fullness and your satiety. That way you can stop eating when you're full and not when you're stuffed. If you can just eat when, to the point of when you're full rather than stuffed, you'll probably start to experience fat loss. But again, it depends on the quality of your diet. So making sure that you're eating high quality proteins, getting enough protein, and eating mostly, or I could say if you're just getting started, even 50% of your nutrition being unprocessed food. So you guys, I know it's really hard to get started. For me, it was so long ago, I have to put myself back in that mindset, but I just remember feeling so overwhelmed. How do I know this is gonna work for me? How do I know that this is gonna get me results? And the very truth of it is that it's your belief that is going to determine whether you stick with it or not. So set your goals small enough that you can stay consistent with them long enough to see results, because it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to really see the results in your lifestyle changes. So stay consistent. Make sure it's small enough changes that you can really commit to it and stay consistent over the time. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I first started was just expecting, to do a couple mile long runs and have abs, or just expecting to lose fat by only eating salads for lunch and doing tons of cardio. And that was burning me out. It was destroying my body, my hormones, my adrenals, moving in the opposite direction. And I could only ever stick with it for a few weeks at a time, and then I would fall off. Stick with where you're at, what you can do. And of course, if I were doing this all over again with the knowledge that I have now, what I would do, I would start with strength training. I would start with at-home workouts. I would pick up weights, and I would start learning how to lift in my house until I was comfortable enough to go to the gym and do it there. So If you want to skip some steps, start with the strength training so you can work on building your metabolism as a petite woman, building your lean body mass so you can burn more calories in your sleep. If you need a resource for this, I say this all the time just because it's literally gotten so many, like hundreds of petite women started with strength training. I have that 40-page fat loss guide. It has a free week of workouts in it. You can download it below. It's totally free. I'm not gonna charge you a dime for it. I made it specifically for you, the beginner, the person who's starting their fitness journey, to just start to dip your toes in strength training and learn what it's about and learn how it can make you feel strong and powerful and fit, and get you real results when cardio can't. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it's helping you get some ideas. You have a plan, you know that you're gonna write it down and you're gonna get started tomorrow and not wait. And if this helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content tailored to petite women. And I will see you guys next week.